Okay, so the UFC 287 official weigh-ins just finished in Miami, Florida, and there was a little bit of tension, a little bit of drama. There was weight misses, but fortunately, the main event between Alex Pereira, the champion of the world, and Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, the longtime champion, but now the contender is on. It's official. Izzy was the first one to walk out onto the scale like a true professional. And to be honest, somebody that isn't the biggest middleweight. Yeah, of course, he's very tall, 6'4", but he's generally a lighter middleweight. So he walked out, first person to do so, got on the scale, probably had an easy weight cut, and that gives him a long time to rehydrate and, of course, go into the octagon fully energized, rehydrated, able to take a shot and to put his best foot forward. One of those kicks forward. Pereira, on the flip side, he left it to the last minute. You get a 2-hour window to weigh in. I say the last minute. There was 20 minutes remaining. And I know there might have been some squeaky bums. The people at BT Sport Weighing Show were starting to think, oh my word, is this a bad sign? You know, people might have been thinking, oh, we're going to have another event of Charles Oliveira when he fought. Who did he fight? Who did he fight when he missed weight? My God, he missed weight and beat Justin Gaethje, I believe. But still, we didn't see that. He showed up on weight, 185 pounds, like a true professional. And I got to say, you know, there was a lot of conversation. People are talking a lot about whether or not Alex Pereira needs to move up a weight class because he's so big, right? And he is big. He's a huge middleweight. When I met him in person for the first time in December at the pay-per-view, he's a big old boy. But he's 35 years old. He's not growing into his body. You know, so I think if he wants to stay a middleweight for the entirety of his career, he can do that all day long because at 35, you know, as I say, he's not getting any bigger unless he goes pounds a ton of calories, gets on the protein shakes and starts lifting like a madman, which he's not going to do because mixed martial arts, you're not trying to bodybuild. Simple as that. So we might see him move up just to challenge Jamal Hill or somebody like that for a light heavyweight belt. But today, the middleweight title fight is on. So well done to both men there. We did have a weight miss. That was Christian Rodriguez, who, of course, is opening the pay-per-view, taking on the 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. He came in 1.5 pounds over at 137.5. Now he's got an hour-long window. The weighing show is finished. He's got an hour to go and cut 1.5 pounds. So he missed weight. He looked ashamed of himself, which I'm glad to see. Often, sometimes fighters come out there, they miss weight, and they ooze bravado still. I am, of course, talking and referring you to Khamzat Chimaev. That is when he really turned into the Bond villain, you know, before our very eyes, walked out there, flipped the bird at everyone there in attendance, didn't look sorry. And then, yeah, that's when he fought Kevin Holland, was supposed to fight Nate Diaz, of course. Nate Diaz then refused to fight him and Kevin Holland stepped up. Big switch around. Diaz ended up fighting Tony Ferguson. But still, Christian Rodriguez didn't do that. The final person to weigh in was Cynthia Calvillo. The co-main event is on. Jorge Masvidal, Gilbert Burns. That one is going down. Good to see. Well, they're all going down. They're all going down. Even Christian Rodriguez and Raul Rosas Jr., even if he doesn't make weight, which I think he will, that will go down. So Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, the main event, that is a captivating fight. Now, Izzy has been... he's been tweeting a little bit that USADA need to follow him around to make sure that he doesn't do an IV. And there was a couple of other tweets as well, which says to me, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, maybe I'm just flat out wrong, but the fact that Izzy now is tweeting about his weight and how USADA need to follow him around, of course, he is tying into the fact that Alexander Volkanovski accused Islam Makhachev of using an IV. There was that whole IV gate, that whole drama around their fight. And of course, you know, the friends, Volkanovski and Adesanya. So Adesanya's putting it out there that potentially Pereira may be using an IV or whatever, and USADA need to stick to him like glue. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Israel Adesanya in a negative way, but that does suggest to me, with respect, that perhaps the pressure's getting to him a little bit, and that the size of Alex Pereira is a factor certainly in his mind. You've got to remember, as Adesanya's 6'4", generally he towers over the rest of the middleweight division, and that's certainly, you know, a physical factor in his dominance. You know, a physical. He physically dominates. Pardon me. I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. It's very late. Well, it's very early now. I've been sitting here for 4 bloody hours doing this, so apologies. But yeah, Izzy's always been big. Now Pereira comes in. He's even bigger. You know what I mean? He's not used to that. Izzy's not used to a guy, but he's not used to being physically dominated. He's not used to someone being his size, but actually bigger and hitting harder. So therefore, there's a little crack in the armor there. There's a little sign of perhaps the pressure, the negativity, what's at stake is starting to get to Adesanya, because let's be honest, even though Adesanya is the favorite, he has lost 3 times to Alex Pereira. You lose to somebody 3 times, you know you're going to be nervous fighting them. You get knocked out twice, you're going to be even more nervous. And last time he got TKO'd in the 5th round and it took away his belt. It took away his pride. It took away his earning potential. There's a good chance that he's not getting pay-per-view points in this one. And if he loses this, then who knows? Maybe he never becomes champion of the world again. So this is potentially, as Izzy said, my last shot. I do believe it will be the last shot at trying to go up against Alex Pereira. And I do believe that the occasion, the nerves, the consequences is getting to him a little bit, because he's going public with it. He's going on Twitter. Listen, normally you will not lie. You can convince yourself that you're not bothered. You can convince yourself that you're not scared. Maybe not the right word. Maybe nervous is the right word. But you can convince everybody. You can even convince yourself, but you can't lie to yourself. I'm talking about when I fought Dan Henderson the 2nd time. I was so confident. I did all the interviews. Yeah, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to make a mockery of him. He's too old and blah, 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 blah. But when I was trying to take a nap before a fight night during the afternoon, I couldn't get to sleep, because the last time I stepped foot in an octagon with the man, I got knocked out unconscious. And that's the story here with Israel Adesanya. Didn't get knocked unconscious, got TKO'd in round 5. But the fight before that in kickboxing, he did get knocked out unconscious and led there for quite some time. So the skeleton's in the closet. There is psychological damage. And again, that is why I like what Izzy's doing. That's why he has my respect. Now, if you look at Alex Pereira, what he said yesterday, and I thought it was a tremendous line, talking about Izzy taking the fight again so quickly, he said, listen, when I was younger, and if I got into trouble, if I would get home and my mother would say, when your father gets home from work, you're going to get disciplined, probably talking about getting his ass smacked. And he would be so worried. He'd be anxious all day long, and he couldn't wait for his dad to get home so he could just get it done and get it out the window, take the hiding, and then get on with his life. And he said, that is what Izzy's doing here. He knows if we fight again, he's going to get knocked out again. So he just wants to get it over and done with. Great line. Great bit of trash talk from Alex Pereira there. But yeah, there it is. Gilbert Burns, Masvidal. That's on. My pick for fight of the night. Fight of the night. I'm going to say Pereira and Adesanya. That's my fight. Gilbert Burns, Masvidal. I think that's going to be right behind there. Rob Font, Adrian Yanez. Incredible fight, that one as well. Top to bottom, we've got some great matchups. So still, there it is. There's your update. Everybody apart from Christian Rodriguez is on weight. The main event title fight is on. The co-main event is on, and that is it. I will be back tomorrow doing a live fight companion style thing. I'll be watching all the prelims and giving you some thoughts and things like that, and answering your questions along the way as well. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be tomorrow afternoon on the YouTube channel, ending right before the main card, because no offense, I'm watching that main card on my couch with a beer in my hand. You guys be well, take care, enjoy the fights this weekend. I'll be doing reaction videos to the 2 big fights on the main card. So check it out. See you soon. Subscribe, ring the bell. All the best.